Hello, and welcome back to the Dokkan Battle video. So, the week of Super Saiyan 4 Goku has concluded. We won literally every single day. We had zero issue, pretty much whatsoever. We had a couple fails, right, where Super Saiyan 4 Goku got kind of obliterated. But, I feel like that's kind of just how it happens nowadays, right? So let's go ahead and place him onto the tier list. As you guys can very clearly see, I did add a new tier. Could be saved. Now that tier is going to be almost exclusively for this man. I think there's one other character that can be in this could be saved tier, and he's pretty actually similar to him. So let's go ahead and let's talk about why Super Saiyan 4 Goku is going to be in that could be saved tier. Now his major issue is the fact that he is basically exclusively locked to slot 1. Right? It's mainly this, right? This being only available in slot 1 means he's pretty much only ever going to be there, or else he's just going to take way too much goddamn damage. We did see him actually eat like a hard boss super attack while in slot 2. Granted, he did have type advantage, and it was, of course, post super, but it was still in slot 2, which I guess is something to say, right? Something to note. Now, one of the biggest flaws for him is not only the fact that he is slot restricted, but also the fact that he is a Saiyan Roar character, Super Saiyan 4. And he is the only relevant Super Saiyan 4 character in the game, technically. Well, technically, it's him and then one other character who would probably also be in the could be saved tier, with Limit Breaker Vegito. And with them being the only good Super Saiyan 4s, mainly because they messed up the past couple Super Saiyan 4 characters, right? It just means that it's really hard for them to get big links active, like Saiyan Roar, which is 25% attack and 10% defense. GT would be really helpful for him, 10% attack and defense. You know, Shocking Speed's another 5% defense, right? He has a lot of stats from links prepared for battle, right? He has a lot of these big defensive links that he just can't get active because he's like the only one of his kind that's even remotely usable, right? So it's really hard for him to be very, very good because of the fact that he just can't do it. So that's why he is going to be sitting comfortably in the could be saved tier. I think that if we were to get a major GT celebration with a couple of Saiyan Roar characters, as well as a couple EZAs for other Super Saiyan 4 characters, he could easily be kind of useful if any single one of them gave damage reduction support, kind of like what Margarita does, or just really big multiple turn support, that kind of thing. I think it could help him out a lot, and we might be able to see him see some usability again. But that's pretty much it for Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Let's go ahead and head on over to the wheel. Let's shuffle this a bunch of times real quick. Just as many times as possible. I know my boy Lampy was kind of concerned about the colors being next to each other. We don't have that issue anymore because we have an even amount. Let's hide this wheel, and let's see who our next victim is for this next week. Please do not be AGL VEGITO BLUE. Don't give me all the controversial characters. Oh my god. There's no way. There's just no way. There's no way we have to do him right after Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Alright. If you say so, game, I guess let's go ahead and get in the game with VEGITO BLUE. And I know this is going to go swimmingly. Alright, I'll see y'all back when we're in game. So we're back, and I made a team for him. Now, the main reason I'm not a fan of this character right now in game is because they are essentially the most slot restrictive character you can possibly use. They are, if you are not in slot 1, you straight up are a loser and you fail and you lose. Right? That is this character's whole gimmick, and I am not a fan of it. I think it's not fun. And I am going to try my damnedest, right? And I mean my absolute damnedest to make them good, right? Or at least give them a proper showing, right? Because how else are you supposed to, give a unit its fair judgment without, doing the due diligence to make them look good? Now, we are running the roadie setup, immediately failing a dodge. Fabulous. Woo! Going sick, crazy 4 million damage. Alright, we're running the roadie setup, which is essentially the hyper carry of the entire team over VEGITO BLUE. Now, some of you might be like, no, it's not. Phone, I'm looking at you. And that's not to say that he's not, like, Vegito Blue is a character. As a functional unit, is a unit that in this day and age, if you're gonna run them, they're gonna get carried. It's just, and then you're like, but I beat every stage in the game with pre-9th anniversary characters. Fabulous. But, like, you could have done it easier if you just made it, if you just let them get carried. Right, and I know people on Twitter are always gonna be like, well, this run doesn't count because he got carried. I think the main thing is, I was gonna make a video on this, right? I was gonna make a video entitled, Why People Hate Vegito Blue, and I feel like this is just gonna be the week of me talking about why people hate Vegito Blue. So if you don't like that, I apologize, right? Because I defended this character when he came out. Because I think, on release, Vegito Blue was perfectly fine. I don't have any issues with Vegito Blue. I beat every single thing in the game, no item, first try with Vegito Blue. Right. Nowadays, that is not the case. Right. Oh, well, I guess we'll let this stuff play. So as I was saying, nowadays that is just not the case anymore. Right, Vegito Blue as a unit is someone who has out-aged his welcome, in my opinion. Right, and I was going to talk about this, and I think the difference in a team like this, especially because there was an argument of Vegito Blue versus a Videl, right? And it's like, oh, why do we say that Videl doesn't get carried by the support on her team with the Master Roshi team? But when you run this team, specifically this team, because this is like the hyper carry setup, right? Why is this team scrutinized for Vegito Blue, whereas Videl gets to be called really good and still not being carried by support, that kind of thing, right? And I think the argument comes from mainly Videl's team, despite having monstrous levels of support for Videl, the difference is Videl is a flex unit, right? Videl is replaceable. Videl can get floated. Videl can go in slot 3. You don't have to think about Videl. You just kind of leave her where you want to leave her, and she'll either dodge, or she'll die, or she'll do 17 million attack stats and then dodge, right? You don't really have to think about anything with Videl. I guess we'll play this too. So again, as I was saying, Videl is a character you don't need to think about at all. You can just let her do her thing, and she'll do it exactly the same way every single time. Except for, like, the dodges. Dodges are the only things you have to, like, hope that she does. But everything else, she will do exactly the same. You know in slot 1 she's going to get the guaranteed double super attack. That's going to happen. This is not guaranteed. I am forced to do this. Right? You're already seeing the problem. If Vegito Blue was Videl in this exact same scenario, I could put Videl in slot 3. I cannot put Vegito Blue in slot 3. I have to sit here and I have to eat that damage or else we lose. And I think that's the issue. Now, even despite having a team with so much giga-stacked characters, I still have to rely on Vegito Blue doing his job. The second he messes up his one job of dodging in slot 1, we lose the game. Now, here comes another issue. Now, this one is a much larger issue. And that's... yeah, I know y'all are gonna like this one. The idea of dodging. Now, okay, I need to refresh my memory real quick with Gogeta. This is 4th turn. Does he still have his guard? If he still has his guard, we're completely fine and I don't have to do anything. If he does not have his guard, then I have to transform here, or else we literally get one shot because this is an STR enemy. So let me just double check real quick. Make sure he stalls his guard before we do anything else. No, he doesn't. So he doesn't have his guard, which means I have to fuse, or I have to transform. But if I transform, I'll heal. And next turn, guess what happens? We lose. Because Vegito Blue sucks. And his transformation condition is terrible. So you might be like, oh, you might be able to risk it. You won't die. Or I can use Beast Gohan's active in the second phase of a fight. You see the issues that I'm having here? This is the reason I think people hate Vegito Blue, right? He's not flexible. You have to do things. And so many other characters have counter synergy with him, despite also being his best partners. So it's really kind of awkward. Anyway, let's just fuse with, or transform with Gogeta and move on with this. Now we got Gogeta out, and now he heals us, which is bad for Vegito Blue. He's got to be low to transform into Vegito Blue. But if you're not... but you also got to take damage. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. Oh, look at him not dodge. What a guy. And he's going to hit us with a sick, nasty 3 million attack stat. And while, yes, we're not fighting a Realm of God's enemy, and yes, he's in slot 1, which is where he does less damage, and yes, he's linked up with Beast Gohan and not Gogeta Blue. Yes, I understand. I know these things. However, if I leave Gogeta on rotation, what's gonna end up happening, more than likely, right, is even if we take damage next turn because we can't fuse into Vegito Blue, Gogeta will heal us, which will make it so that we can't fuse into Vegito Blue. Which is annoying. And another thing that I find annoying, I really like AGL UI. Now, AGL UI, when he revives, he brings you to 77% HP, which for a lot of characters is the exact HP threshold they need to be at. You know whose HP threshold that is not at? Vegito Blue. It's 7% higher. Yippee. Alright, so now we're on this turn. Actually, this is perfect. We are completely fine now. Because if you know, I think it's because Vegito Blue doesn't have to get hit. Yeah. That's what using this unit's like. And now, let me just preface this and say, I just find him annoying to run. If you win with him, you win with him, and that's fine. But this man's almost a year old. Literally, I'm recording this the same day that the worldwide units are going to be revealed, like, later tonight. And those units are going to be the exact time slot that Vegito Blue was. It's so convenient that this is happening right goddamn now, right? I don't know how we managed to do this twice in a row, where we get the controversial unit a year after they came out, right? I don't understand how we managed to do that. I would have loved any other character. But no, we have to talk about Vegito Blue. We have to. The wheel decided that that's what we have to do. So that's what we're doing. For a whole week. Yippee! It's so much fun. But yeah, I mean, what else can I say, really? I think that's the main issue here. Now, Bulma, she'll probably take some damage for us, so we should be able to fuse. No, never mind. No, she's not taking any damage. Thanks, Bulma. You know what? Let's just try to cheese out a stack. If he dies, he dies, right? You can kind of clearly see the issue that we're still having, right? Where we're not very far into the fight because we're prioritizing Vegito Blue, but we're also not anywhere closer to getting his fusion. And it's because we haven't taken any goddamn damage. It's great, right? It's great. But we do have access to Tech UI domain, which is fantastic. So we will be using that. Oh boy. Again, what is this VEGITO BLUE built? How is he built? Oh god. It's not even fully link leveled. Alright, Tech UI buddy, let's just get this done. So remember the one big thing about Tech UI, right? He is giving the full buff to VEGITO BLUE from his domain, which is good. It's good. It's a great buff, right? It's gonna make his stats significantly better. No doubt about it. Doesn't really look like it, but they're better. Right. Tech UI in general is really, really good for VEGITO BLUE. But the main thing, especially for right now, because we were unable to transform, because VEGITO BLUE's condition is really, really bad, right? Because we weren't able to take any damage, here's the damage we're going to take. The 10% dodge is also in effect, so he has more dodge chance. There's the 10% dodge from Tech UI. That matters a lot. Like, a lot. Specifically for VEGITO BLUE, because he's so bad, right? Because his condition is garbage. Because his intro runs out. Because he can only dodge in slot 1. That extra 10% dodge chance added into his already existing dodge chance helps him out a lot. It's really important. Now, next turn, what we're probably gonna have to do is pop the Beast active, or else we'll die because VEGITO BLUE can't eat these hits. Because he can't hang, he's gonna need protection. So, probably for the next couple turns, we're gonna be popping a lot of actives. So it's gonna be pretty uncommon for us to potentially get him out into VEGITO BLUE mode. We might not even see VEGITO BLUE. And that is purely because we're not taking any damage. It's just, no one's eaten the hit. If VEGITO BLUE would have gotten hit by that super attack, he would have gotten one shot. Right? So it's just one of those things where it's just unrealistic to see him in some scenarios. And it's purely based on fight RNG. And I don't like having to deal with that. Now, some of you might like the challenge of running this goddamn character for some reason. Talking about people that are masochists, right? Phone, I see you. Again. I assure you, I know you're probably in these goddamn comments talking about VEGITO BLUE, and I don't care, right? We've had talks about him in the past. I liked him on release, I just don't like him right now, right? Now, we're probably going to win this really easily at that. It's just not very fun, in my opinion. Because you know what is fun? Just doing this. Yup. When Big Poppy Beast comes out, slams his schlong on the table and says, you know what? We're winning. I like that. Some of you might not like that, and that's understandable. I guess. Some of you want to suffer. Some of you want to do 7 attempts and hope VEGITO BLUE can transform because he gets hit and dies. Right? Some of you want to turn your VEGITO Blues into the full attack, super attack boost of VEGITO BLUE. Watch him finally do a decent attack stat. I understand. I get it. But at the same time, this shit is annoying. And it took me 6 entire days to get a singular run against Goku and Frieza with this exact broken team to win. You know why? It's all because of VEGITO BLUE. Because of the fact that he's locked to slot 1 because of the fact that one of the hardest phases in that game, in that fight, is a tech phase that locks, where he can get locked in slot 2 and supered, locked in slot 1, not dodge and supered and died, locked in slot 3, get floated off, not get supered at all. He's going to take a lot of damage from a normal, but he's going to get floated off, so you can't fuse into Vegito Blue right away, and then you have to redo your entire rotations, and then you have to immediately go into a dodge canceling fight where his best asset, being able to have a 100% dodge chance, doesn't matter at all, and his defense is still not that good until you, unless you super attack a bajillion times. That's where we run into problems. A lot of problems. And it's really, really annoying. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. Probably. Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna have to do, because I can't put Vegito Blue there. And we're just gonna have to hope that Tech UI, you know, pops off and dodges all these. I mean, if he gets hit, we might be able to fuse with the other Vegito, right? Which would be good. Because this is type disadvantage. He's not getting hit though. That's fine. Remember that Tech UI super attacks do actually give offensive and defensive support to the rotation. So when he super attacks, he's going to make Vegito Blue a little bit better. Now, is that going to make him better to the point where he's not going to get one-shot by a normal? I guess we'll find out. Answer's probably not, though. Answer is probably not. And I could have put Vegito Blue in the front there, right? But I had no idea whether or not the Gammas were going to super attack. I had no idea whether or not Vegito Blue was actually going to dodge any of those attacks. Remember, we don't have the extra dodge support. So if you were to have super attacked in the first slot, we would have, guessed what? Gotten one shot. You see the issue. And it all stems from him having terrible conditions. It's just, it's not fun. 13 million, finally a decent attack stat. We just happen to have Bulma support, Tech UI domain, Tech UI 18 key and 12 key. And we're on turn 9. Super fun, super fun. Super fun, super fun. Lots of fun. Thank you, Gogeta. Fabulous. I'm not gonna play the Bulma active because Bulma active is nothing too crazy. She like doesn't even really speak into it. I probably should have done that after, because yeah, Gogeta's not gonna get a Rainbow Orb. At this point, or whatever, it's okay. It's fine. But like, ugh. I just don't find this very fun. I'm just gonna be so honest when I say I don't find it very fun. It's just... He's grown out of his need to exist, right? When we were filled with future characters and we can get his guaranteed fusion on turn 7, sure, he was fine. But right now it's like... Oh my god, let me pray to the lords above for hopefully one of our units gets smacked up by a normal or a super attack when they don't need to, and we don't need to heal because, or we don't need to transform into Gogeta because we don't need to this time, and Vegito Blue will be fine, and we can transform with him and everything's gonna be hunky-dory. But even when we do transform, he's still just gonna be worse than all the units that we have on the rotation anyway. It's just like 8 million. Woo! Whoop! Yeah, you tell him, Vegito. Yeah, you get that additional normal. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's not like I picked up like a weak fight or something, right? It was a real fight, and we won. We won first try, but did I enjoy it? No. Did we see Vegito Blue? No. There's gonna be a lot of that this week. There's gonna be a lot of sadness this week. Sorry, phone. I don't need you to send me screenshots. Don't send me screenshots. Don't send me videos. I don't need it. I don't. 20-minute fight, Vegito. The 12-minute fight, by the way, that was with Coquette. Just saying. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about Vegito Blue Week coming at you soon. A year old. I'm so shocked that we managed to get both controversial characters back to back, but it is what it is. Again, so let me know about everything in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Jesus Christ, man.